Way, we're the best in the world. Hey. Yep, cheers, fellas. Cheers, fellas. Now, all you guys are on the bench. Can you just come over here really quickly? Yep, you're here. Okay, guys, you need to go home and stay at the hotel for a while because when we fly back to New Zealand, you've got Western Suburbs straight away pretty much. Okay, so you guys stop celebrating. Leave all the big guys to do that. You guys need to actually get us further in the Chatham Cup, okay? Cheers, fellas. Have a nice night. Back to partying, yay!
Party in the streets and the city's on fire.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 179 of the New Zealand Build Nation here on Shaun Does FM with Cashmere Technical and the All White. Still managing those guys. It's just been a while, and coming up today we're going to take on Western Suburbs in the third round of the Chatham Cup. Our first game since yesterday, which if you missed, I'll leave a link to it over in the top right corner, where we beat RB Leipzig in a penalty shootout to become the FIFA Club World Cup champions in 2041. I'm going to try and not mention it too much over the rest of the course of our time here at Cashmere Tech, but it still sounds ridiculous because it is. So I'm going to try and not rub it in too much, but we are apparently the best team in the world here. We even have a trophy to prove it, and these days, a 4-star reputation club does feel a little bit weird these days here at Cashmere Technical. But today, going to switch our attention back to New Zealand, albeit before then, we have had come through the awards off the back of that Club World Cup. There you can see that Jonas Otto did get the best player. He beat the Marcos Cresta from Man City, an Argentinian midfielder with some pretty darn good attributes, 34 caps for the national team, and also Lenny Ryan, a player who I think got injured in that final yesterday from RB Leipzig, an English left back, formerly of Man City, and he's also pretty good. Has played 336 times for those guys. Apart from dribbling, those attributes do look very good for the English defender. But Jonas Otto was great for us during the course of that tournament. 6 games, 4 goals, 3 assists. The average rating of 7.83 does mean that he picked up the player of the tournament. Hopefully, we can still keep hold of him for the remainder of our time here at Cashmere Tech. And maybe once we move on from the Sabinson forward a bit, he might be a future option for the All Whites. But with an award like that, the Germans might want him back sooner rather than later. And also in terms of the overall dream team, he did make it, but surprisingly, he was our only player that made it. So a little bit disappointing the other team that won it only gets one player in that dream 11. There are a couple of awards there off the back of that final of the FIFA Club World Cup. But now we switch our attention to what's been going on in New Zealand off the back of the last couple of weeks in game while we were over in Turkey, because we are now about to play catch up here at Cashmere Tech for nearly a month of football that we have missed. To be fair, they did count on us making the second round and quarterfinal of New Zealand football. I think the last week, though, they weren't expecting that. To be fair, I wasn't either. So we now have to back up 3 days later and take on Western Suburbs in the third round of the Chatham Cup. Of course, the last episode before that Club World Cup, we took on Wellington Olympic in the first round, beat those guys 3-0. A quick update on how things are getting on in each of the sub-leagues here in New Zealand. First up, the Southern League. Obviously, we are still 9 wins from 9 unbeaten and 7 points clear of Selwyn, who surprisingly find themselves in second. But all these guys have played 11 or 10 games. So these teams have a couple in hand on us. So we're in quite a strong position there, as you'd expect, being the Club World Cup champs, to pick up that competition yet again. Christchurch United also riding that hunt as our Green Island. And then Nelson Suburbs, Nomads, Neon City, and Mosgiel are the teams with only 3 or 4 games left in their seasons, who do look like they might be in a bit of a relegation fight. But you dare say one of the teams from down south might be going down to the second tier here in the South Island, going up to the Northern League, because of course going to take on the Central team shortly in Western Suburbs, so we'll save that one till last. Here's what things look like currently. Ngāroa and United are on top of this with 25 points. Just behind them, Western Suburbs and Manurewa, they are joint on 23. Malvern United currently in that last qualifying spot for the National League Championship, but Manukau United hot on their heels. Auckland City mid-table, but to be fair, before their last couple of games, as you can see, they've picked up their form a little bit. They were struggling quite badly down near the relegation zone, so they're actually still in with a chance of making their way into the National League Championship. They've still got like 10 games left in their season to try and make their way into that National League Championship so far. They've been a little bit average until the last couple of games that they have played. Also worth noting, they got knocked out quite early in the Chatham Cup. Currently going down Eastern Suburbs. That'll be a bit surprising. They've actually been up there last couple of years, and also East Coast Bays. That one just a little bit less surprising, but Eastern Suburbs, that would be a little bit of a shock. And going to the Central League, where our opposition from today's episode do come from, and we probably here should be a bit more confident than I otherwise would be with quite a heavily rotated team, obviously off the back of that Club World Cup we've just played, because Wellington Olympic, the team that you saw us beat in the first round of this Chatham Cup, they're 4 points clear of Western Suburbs, albeit that is with them as well as Northern Rovers. Having played an extra game, Northern Rovers just 1 point there behind Olympic. Havelock North also join on points though with Western Suburbs, so a good fight there for those free spots in the Central League. Also Napier City Rovers aren't too far out of the mix, 4 points behind Havelock North, and with a game in hand, same amount of games played as Western Suburbs. Palmy North United not doing too badly, but from there down, it looks like the teams who could be in trouble. But to be fair, Waterside Karori are yet to win a game this season. They are fast running out of time. Looks like they might be the team who will get relegated. That's what's been going on in New Zealand while we've been away at the FIFA Club World Cup, and it's time for us here to get stuck into the third round of this competition, trying to win it for one last time here at Cashmere Tech. Western Suburbs, we're well familiar with these guys, played them quite a bit in the Champions League and big games here in New Zealand over the majority of the save, especially since Auckland City have fallen off last 5 or so seasons. They're only a 2-star reputation club. There's a bit of a gap there now off the back of that trophy that we did pick up yesterday, but to be fair, their key players do look pretty similar. Junior Duval, still their captain. Damwin, their vice-captain. There he is definitely a little bit of a reset off the back of the type of players that we were taking on the last week or so at the Club World Cup. There's their key player, Mozambique international, but even then, apart from his physicals, he don't look too hot. So hopefully this is a team we can beat, albeit we go over to our lineup. It's very different to what we've been putting out of late here on the channel, because all those guys have been starting at the Club World Cup recently, as you can see, are on quite a heavy workload. So we need to rest them at some stage. Hopefully this is a game where we can do so. To be fair, don't have much choice, because otherwise we'd probably break them, and that wouldn't be a good idea. So for the most part, it's a full rotation in all areas compared to what we were doing at that Club World Cup. Corona, of course, missed that City semi-final, so he's still in there in defensive midfield. Also, Alex Moorbeck, he wasn't registered for that tournament. He starts at right wing instead of Wiley Khaled. And Prince Kamalo, also recently coming back from injury, pulled him off about an hour into that final yesterday. He can start up front. So a couple of first-team players are still in the mix here, but for the most part, it's close to a full rotation. Hopefully, they'll get the job done at home here in the third round of the Chatham Cup, and we can make our way past Western Suburbs in our first game as world champions. And a quick look at the team sheets here for this third round clash in the Chatham Cup. There we are, sticking with our 4-2-3-1. Obviously, it won us a Club World Cup, and all those changes that we ran through before, just really checking here on Western Suburbs. And holy cow, they are parking the bus big time. Maybe that's something we're going to have to deal with now that we've won that trophy yesterday. That is a very defensive formation compared to what we usually see. Hopefully, though, still get the job done in this Chatham Cup clash. And just past the 10-minute mark of this one, we get the first highlight here, a goal kick. Not too sure who that is to, because I need to sort out the camera angle off the back of the penalty shootout that we had to end that final yesterday. And it is Western Suburbs here who are on the ball, but thankfully Moore wins that one back for us there. Down our right-hand side, Shaun Hall getting a start here. Just gets that ball back and plays it back out. Now Debenham going forward. Down our right-hand side, Alex Moore back from injury, his first start in a long time. Squeeze that one nicely for Tristan Turner. That would have been a screamer there from the Australian, looking for the top right corner, but unfortunately that one comes off the woodwork. Still 0-0. And not till off the back of that opening chance there to Tristan Turner. Now we're down the other end here for a corner to Western Suburbs. We probably think their chances in this one are quite high. Burgess there at the far post with a hero. I think that one came off the bottom of the post, but thankfully doesn't make its way into the back of net. But they're probably thinking with close to a full rotation, they might have a shot here of beating us. And to be fair, I think kind of the same thing. So hopefully we can score an early goal and might get a chance here to put these guys away and make our way through the fourth round. If we knock these guys out, really, not that many big teams left in this competition this year, but Western again are on the attack, and Thomas puts that one away to make it 1-0, but not so fast. it's been blown up because apparently he was offside. So Western Suburbs they're getting on the front foot for a couple of minutes, but still 0-0 just past the 20-minute mark. And now there's a free kick here in our favour just inside of their half. We take it short. Zajic up to Turner it goes and plays a lovely ball through there to Alex Moore, who is onside. And now we take a 1-0 lead here, bang on halfway through this first half. Hopefully can kick on from here and show why we're the best club in the world. That feels so weird to say, but we've got a trophy to prove it. Good finish there from Alex Moore. He gets a goal coming back from injury to make it 1-0. And after being that busy period there around halfway through this first half, looks like this one's going to be just 1-1 going into half time. Not much happening in the second part of that first half. Prince Camelo out there on a 6.4. We might actually take him off here at half time on that rating. Looks like he's struggling a little bit coming back from injury. So Andrew Thomas, he can come on up front for him. Can the young American get some game time while Camelo is building up that fitness? But it's going okay. Hopefully can grab a couple of goals in the second half and put these guys to bed. Otherwise, this could be a tricky game for us with the players that we are having to select, as we're currently holding on to a 1-0 lead. And an early highlight here in the second half in our favour. Moore takes the corner, puts that one far post, and Jason Clark scores a rare goal for us here at Cashmere Tech, one of our young under-20 centre-backs alongside Peter Zajic. He puts that one away from a far post corner. Moore gets the assist for that one. It's a nice lofted ball. Two players go up for it somehow. Our lad, he heads that one home. Also Zajic there to be fair. So one of them was probably going to score that one, but Jason Clark pops up with a cushion goal to make it 2-0. And just shy of the hour mark, next highlight in this game, it's a front for Western Suburbs for some reason. They give that ball straight to Jamie Young. Support work there for them, and it's actually the ball for us here in a good area of the field. So this is quite dangerous here for Suburbs. Could put this game to bed. Young with a speculative shot, comes off the woodwork, gets pulled back there looking for Clark, but it goes back out to Castro. A shot which takes a big deflection. I think there should have been a penalty in there, but we score either way. It's actually an own goal there from Berrio. That makes it 3-0 and probably puts this game to bed. So thankfully our rotation players are getting the job done. No doubt there was a advantage there for that trip on Clark, but Castro helps put that one away with a lot of help there from Berrio. He gets a big backside on that one, help put it into that top left corner. 3-0 in front. That should wrap this game up. So thankfully, not quite the banana skin I thought it would be. And this could be a win, which takes us a long way towards picking up another Chatham Cup here at Cashmere Technical. It would be our last one of the save, albeit good chance for them here on the counter-attack. Walton tries to chip that one over Shaun Hall, but thankfully bit too much on that one, just off target, and we are still 3-0 in front with only 20 or so minutes left now. And as we're trying to wrap things up, there's a highlight here, a throw deep inside our own half, but Castro does quite good work there. He's a player who's about third choice here at Cashmere in terms of left wing. Got called up for this game from our B team because De Beer as well as Otto are quite tired, but now Gibb on the attack here for Western Suburbs. But to be fair, that shot was not a very good one, and I think now's the time for us here to make some subs. We'll take off Moore for Marzi, Moore coming back from injury. That's probably a good idea. We've got one sub left for the last 20 or so minutes of this game, and maybe we can do it off the back of this chance here. Castro will try and score a goal from a free kick and goes very close. That one, it was pretty close to being on target, but it comes off the post there. Unfortunately, off the back of that, Turner runs it out for a goal kick. We are still low, 3-0 in front. And only a few minutes off that chance there to Diego Castro. Now we're going to take off here Marco Corona. He's gone down to a red heart. So with our final sub, Marcus Vinicius can come on for him as we make our way the last 10 minutes of this game. Still 3-0 in front. So far, Western Suburbs have had shots, but there were none on target until I started talking. Then they got one off. But it looks like Western Suburbs here aren't going to offer much in this third round clash in the Chatham Cup. They've got a very late highlight as we tick over added time. Maybe they'll find a way here to grab a consolation goal. Gibb plays that back to Berrio, who does already have a goal. We scrambled that one away, a little bit messy, but that'll bring this game to a close. A decent XG chance there late for Western Suburbs, but somehow we get bodies in the way to block that one again. They pick up a ton of yellow cards against us. Of course, that proved costly in one of the games last year. We ended up playing against 8 men at one point, but that's a good win for us there in the third round of the Chatham Cup. 3-0. Thankfully, our rotation players, they get the job done. Show our club depth here at Cashmere Tech off back of that Club World Cup, and we'll continue our Chatham Cup defence. So a job done for us there in our first game as Club World Cup champions here at Cashmere Technical. As I said, thought that one might be a little bit of a banana skin with the players that we did have to start, but still had some decent players out there, like Kamalo Moore as well as Marco Corona, even though we took some of those players off early and we picked up a relatively comfortable 3-0 win and knocked Western Suburbs out of the Chatham Cup. Next up in a few days' time, we have got Coastal Spirit. Those guys are, though, down in the second tier of the South Island here these days, so that's probably a game I can play off camera and actually try and go for a decent chunk before we come back for tomorrow's episode. But that will do it for today. We beat Western Suburbs, knocked them out nice and early in the Chatham Cup. If you enjoyed that one, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. We'll probably come back tomorrow. I think the next international window is off the back of the Chatham Cup final, and to be fair, I think that window will be our World Cup qualifying final against Fiji anyway, so you might be waiting until next week before we do something with the All Whites indeed. That's what's coming up next, and really should be getting the job done, especially if I start using that tactic we've got over there at Cashmere Technical. Probably, if all goes to plan, we'll come back tomorrow for the Chatham Cup final, wrap up how all the sub-leagues finished and see what's been going on at early stages of the National League Championship. So until then, thank you very much for watching, keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.